Hello. It is evening and try to see the best way to um I guess get my more people with some education or some knowledge or some experience in this area of they can literally just take advantage of you and use people to literally just like testify against you, but won't let you use any of your evidence when you're in the hearings. When I was in the hearing, and this was about a month ago, I think in Octoberish, I think I found out I got a phone call from the CPS worker. And then around November, December, January, I believe I started to collect all the evidence and start to send. In that time frame, I was able to spend time with my son until I believe the CPS worker went and talked to my ex-husband, who he then talked to him in a way where if you would read the paper, you would think that my ex-husband, would make me out or make me out to be like this person that, is so horrible. But in the midst of that, I could see that as a use of like a manipulation because I don't want to be with him. So if he could do anything to hurt or harm me to make me, like feel that I need him or feel like, without him, my life will be nothing. He probably will, knowing that, I don't want to have a relationship with him or like have his kids. So that was one thing he told me when I first moved in here is to put my doors and just drew stuff around like my apartment when he was asked to leave. He literally, my ex-husband told me to put him out of here and let him move in here. This is after I worked my ass off to, even move into this apartment, literally almost cleared out my savings, living in hotels the summer um, before moving into this apartment. And then after moving, I spent the year here just trying to keep the bill stable. And then I knew myself, and then the pandemic started, which was last year. So I did get a chance to furnish my son's room, and then my ex-husband decided to bring my son over so that I can get a things like that. So that's what I did. And every morning I would wake him up and make sure he went outside and did some exercise with me. And then we would log into his schoolwork and make sure all his schoolwork was complete. And then in the evening, we would do stuff like cleaning up or just going out to play or going swimming or different things like that. So there was no point, where I feel like I put my child in danger or harmed him by any means. But I was calling the police on my ex who knocked out one of my teeth, who threatened my son, literally told my son, I hope you had a good life, CJ, because you will never see your mother again. So for a person coming from Panama and not really educated on America, not educated at all in America, to say something like that to my son, there's information that you would have to gotten from somewhere. There's information that's just not something that just pops up in your head and you automatically assume or know or have any information about it. So for you to come back in my house after the police escorted you out and supposedly sent you to work, and you came back in my house and literally, tried to force yourself on me again, and I'm telling you no, and when you didn't, when you decide to act like you don't understand, you literally walk around the corner, look right at my son and tell my son, I hope you had a good life, CJ. You will never see your mother again. And so at that point, like I said, I thought he was threatening my life. So I called the police immediately and told them on the phone what he said. And as he was walking out the door, he said, and you're going to work in warehouses and factories like everyone else. So if you're not taking my life, and that's one way I would never see my child again, then what other way could you do it? And then the next day, CPS come and knocks on my door. So therefore, someone had to give that information to you. for you to even know that, if this was to happen to me, then there is a chance that I wouldn't see my son anymore, especially if he was put in someone else's home. You have not really a lot of access to maybe who he goes to or who they decide, gets to keep him or stuff like that. But, I did have next of kin, which is the reason why I never moved when I got my divorce. I literally rented out a room very close to my ex-husband, put my son in school, and allow, my ex-husband to still play the role of father in my son's life. No problem. Invited him to all the school events, let him know anytime my son was sick or whatever the case may be. I made sure that my son knew that that was his father. And, I didn't just like take him out of his life, with the respects of, myself and, staying in the area and trying to build, get a job and make sure I'm taking care of myself and stuff like that. So that's what I did. But once I moved here and it was time for me to get on my feet, he agreed to keep my son for a year. And I would have him for the summer. And then once I, become a little bit more stable, I would expand the parenting plan, and have my son more time. Well, my ex was able to use the fact that, that DCFS was called, was able to use the fact that I cursed him out multiple times in his on his phone, trying to spend time with my son. That has anything to do with me and you. As a mature adult, you need to separate your relationship from a relationship with a mother and a child or a father and a child. It has nothing to do with the two adults' relationship. And so he definitely tried to use that as a manipulation or some type of punishment for me because he saw that, I wasn't going to want to be in a relationship with him after all this stuff that happened to me. Literally came in my house in December, dropped my son off over here multiple times, even after that, even a few weeks after Miguel, which is my ex-boyfriend, was escorted out of my house for the last time and voluntarily gave up his key. My ex-husband brought my son over, I have pictures in my phone. Also brought him over around November when I went to vote and I had took him bowling. And then brought him over again around December. I think this was after I got attacked. Um, and my hair was pulled out and I was wrongfully arrested. And he basically, was telling me, I think you should get a lawyer. Um, and then I started to call multiple lawyers, and lawyers were saying, well, if you have video and all this, there's no reason to really pay us. You should be able to show your video and defend yourself and clear your name. So at this point, I'm working with this public defender who has seen me unfit to stand my trial, and I have to wait 30 days. And in that meantime, I'm supposed to talk to some Illinois Human Department of Service. But if I'm fit to live in my apartment, pay all of my bills, go to school and get my master's, work in a school district for 4 years around kids every day, even have teachers who call me and want me to come back into their class, have teachers who've called me and want me to do long-term assignments for their class. When I first started my freshman year, I had a biology teacher at the high school who literally wanted me to do a long-term assignment coming back in my second year. But at that time, I think I turned her down because I think my ex-husband was trying to relocate out of the state, and I didn't know if I was going to be coming back to the school district that year. So I didn't want to agree to the long-term assignment and then be relocating because he had these, big ideas after years staying up here and seeing that things wasn't going to work or things wasn't working out for him financially, that he would move to Texas or move to Vegas. Or I even remember at one point taking some of my money and supporting him into going to Vegas to take the fitness test for being a police officer, which I think he did pass, and then was not able to go back for all the psychiatric evaluations and stuff that they do among, hiring you. Just I guess it was more of a financial issue because I remember them emailing even me because they emailed all your immediate family and different things. They have like several questions and stuff that they ask. But after that, I think we moved into our apartment together, and then I ended up just going ahead and going my separate way and divorcing him because I saw that it just wasn't going to work. For me to take 2 years out of coming out of college and staying at home with my son, knowing that I wanted a career, and taking care of his daughter, which wasn't even mine, not treat them both the same, didn't treat them any different. Um, for him to go and be like, I guess, promiscuous with her mother was just like totally, beyond disrespectful for me. So I literally just walked out of that situation and they didn't allow it to happen, but it was the fact that he even opened the door. So I just felt like you not supporting me, being the woman that I wanted to be, and at the same time disrespecting me as your wife. So definitely not a place or a situation I want to be long term to feel like I have to depend on a man who will literally belittle me or make me feel insecure to make himself feel better, or make me feel like I can accomplish certain things in order for him to have that, more so pride of a man, or I'm taking care, or I'm doing all the whatever responsibilities or whatever. So that was a problem for me because it was a lot of things that I felt like coming out of college 5 years is like I wanted to pursue. But if you have someone who's living in the household with you, who's literally you know telling you that, oh, you're a can if you want it, it's not, worth it, or what I'm saying. Like it's just very just like mentally just depriving, to have someone who call yourself they love you, whatever, and they want to be with you for the rest of your life, but yet doesn't want to support the person that you want to become. So that was a big issue for me. So once I moved over here and I was going to ask for the extension of the parenting plan. He pretty much used the fact that my ex and um, my ex was abusing me and DCFS was involved and the police, even though I had confided in him about that, and he literally took my social security number and everything and tried to apply for another apartment, but the apartment denied it because of credit. So this is one of like a newer apartment, like they just literally built it like a year ago. And so some of these, later apartments that's been built in the past 5 or 10 years, was really pushing like the credit because they are that, really tells a person's gonna like be consistent with their bills or, stuff like that. So they're really like, running credit, not just running to see if you have good leasing credit, but they're running your credit score. And you have to have a certain credit score to be able to move into these apartments, because I guess it plays in the back of how well you've paid your bills in the past, or how well you take care of your environment, or the things that are around you. Because obviously the apartments are new, and they want to keep them in intact or whatever. So yeah, so pretty much I um, went and filed order of protections against this guy. 6 order of protections was denied. Literally ran into my face not once but twice in the same night. Literally ran, turned around, ran right back into my face. I remember the night going to the hospital, and I remember exactly what I told the hospital person because I thought that, I'm like, is they gonna like, you know, take you to jail forever. Like maybe you should get the hell away from my house and like leave me alone. Because I don't want to see that happen to you. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You've hurt me and I don't feel like you should be, around me or near me. Because I don't feel like a person who can get that angry and want to hurt me like that should be in my presence. Why should we be in each other's space if we're bringing out a side of if a side of you is coming out that you're not used to being, or that, people don't, want to see. I think we all have that side where we can get really angry or get really upset or get really mad. But if you're a significant other, the person who you say you love and, you want to spend the rest of your life with, is bringing out that, then that probably shouldn't be the person that you, because the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with should be bringing out, the better you, should be bringing out the happier you, the one that's, pushing you towards your dreams and, you accomplishing your goals and you're happy and you have joy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're in a relationship with somebody, there's no way, you should be waking up, upset or waking up and they're constantly just harassing you. Maybe they don't understand the word no, when you're saying no. Like that is not in their vocabulary, and that was an issue for me because I would respect your boundaries and I would hope that you would respect mine. But obviously he didn't, and didn't really care to. And then when he saw, like that obviously after you've breaking my teeth and you've harm my son, then I don't want anything to do with you. And you don't get that. You don't understand that that is what, I'm expecting. Like, I really want you out of my home. I really don't want anything to do with you. I really, would care less if you fucking existed. Like, that's how I feel. It's like, there's no way I'm finna go back and talk to you and have a relationship with you or want to be with you. None of that. Like, I'm like totally over it. And just past recently, like he has both of my email addresses. I have no idea how he got one of them because one of them I just started last year and I don't recall giving it to him at all. So I guess he had to like go through my phone or something of the sort, to have it. And then the other email I've been have ever since before we started dating. So I'm pretty sure he was following aware with that email. And then he found me on my Facebook. So yesterday I was in a court, and I was going towards this old order of protection supposedly that my ex has against me because I showed up at his house and I was screaming, "Can I see my son? You're ignoring me." And so he literally, like you said, against me in the fact that he was asking me for sexual favors and I cursed him out. So he used the fact that I cursed him out against me. And so this lady has like this, order of protection. But that's fine. I don't really care or want to have any relationships, want to touch him, want to see him, none of that. I want to see my son. I want to spend time with my son. So if you're totally, invincible in the matter, exclusive towards the matter, and allow me to have that relationship with my son, then we can have over protection to each other for the rest of our fucking lives. I can care less. Of wanting to be around you or having relationships or talking with you or any of that. I'm just at that point where it's been 3 years, so you ain't got it in 3 years. Like even in the messages where I cussed him out, he literally made me feel like, I owed him sexual relationships. He was like, "You haven't been with me in 3 years. You owe me like, you're like almost like in his mind, I'm still his wife." You know what I'm saying? And it's like if I haven't been involved with you in 3 years, what the hell makes you think that I want to have any involvement with you? If I haven't tried to have a relationship, if I haven't tried, to date you or want to go out with you, why would you think I want to have a relationship with you now? You know what I'm saying? Like you obviously don't understand. So he pretty much just used that against me. But we went to court yesterday, and during that time, my ex like emailed me twice, literally put hearts on some of my pictures. And so I literally emailed him, "I don't want anything but to do with you. Please stop. Like I have to change my email, change my phone numbers, all of that. I fucking knew, like because I don't want you to have no contact with me." And that's what I feel like I'm gonna have to probably end up doing. And I will eventually. But there are some things that I need to take care of first, as far as like my bills and stuff like that. Because I was so nice to on his birthday get a phone and a watch for him because he's undocumented. Therefore, there's a lot of things that he can't do. As far as like things that cause you to have to have a social security number or a certain or citizenship or whatever. And so they won't allow you to do it unless you have like paperwork. So I got a phone and a watch in my name for him, and so I'm waiting for the end of the year for it to be paid, and then I'm gonna literally just cut everything off that any ties that we have towards one another. And that's just where I'm at in life, like I realized that obviously I want something that some men find intimidating, some men see as, a woman who like make their own money and want to bring in their own income and take care of themselves, can be, like hard for me if they're not in that position to do the same for themselves, or if they're, take care of their responsibilities. Or like when I was trying to educate my son, the fact that, I took it seriously. And, some people don't take education seriously. I see up here in the north is downplayed more so than I've ever expected it to be. But at the same time, if you have warehouses and trade and factories that you can literally a 10-year-old can go in there and do the work, then why would people, after 50, 60, 70 years of being here and seeing all of the trade and transport, the temp agencies where you can literally walk in and get a job in one day. I guess why would you even take education seriously? Why does it matter how well you talk or how well you write or, how well you can figure out problems, and stuff like that if you can literally go and get a job that a 10-year-old can do, So it is what it is, but there's still certain jobs that require education. So, and that's obviously one of the jobs that I've been working. And so I don't plan on quitting. I don't plan on stopping. I plan on getting my master's in education, and whether I use it here or whether I use it in the other 49 states of the United States, that's to be decided. I feel like God opened the door to someone. He's opened the door for me to be able to take my psychology class in education. My master called me this past couple of months in history of education, just passed both of those classes with A's. And I'm waiting. It's like a 3-week summer period, and I'm waiting for my counselor to call me back to give me my next 2 classes for my master's program. And so that's my focus right now, is to be able to, financially take care of myself independently. And figure out some side hustles or something that I can do to bring in a passive income besides getting my master's and going towards the career I plan to work. So and that's what I'm gonna focus on. Like I feel like everything else is like pointless. It's not important. And so I'm not going to like worry or focus on it. I am going to file an appeal for CPS to reopen the case. I do have all of the evidence and complaint and everything that, and it is a lot. It is a lot for me reaching out to different lawyers. I called the mayor. I called representatives for this district, waiting for them to reach out to me Friday. I'm supposed to be sitting to a mayor's meeting on July 3rd. Just by asking questions. If you feel like CPS is taking advantage of you, or you've been wrongfully arrested and financially have the means to get anyone to fight for you, what type of route would they take? What would be the necessary way of handling these situations? When you're just trying to get time with your son, you don't really care, you know, um, for anyone to get punished and get this stuff off your name so that you can be able to work a job like DoorDash or Postmates that you can kind of work on your own time and still be able to get your master's. Because I did plan on going back to my school job in August if it opens up, and then that way I can kind of supplement my income until I get double pay, and then I'll consistently have income to be able to pay my bills and meet my other little goals as far as like building my credit and saving money and stuff like that. And so that's pretty much my focus, but I do have like all the paperwork, and so I'm pretty much going to file it. I filed to reopen it, but I wasn't able to get it to the court or to the room at the end of the day last Friday when I went. And I'm just not in a rush to really just go back into the courthouse because I feel like it's just very reminding, and um, just like reminded me or put me back in the situation that I was put in. Like you sent me to the courthouse to file order of protections. I would have never been there. If you said, baby, what do you need? Oh, I need in my video, Miguel to get out of my house because he doesn't understand English rules. He keeps harassing me, physically, emotionally abusing me. I'm telling him that on the video. So he's telling me to file order of protection. And then he goes back to the courthouse and use the same people that watched me go through all this shit to file these order of protections. He used them to testify against me to say that I neglect my son when I would have never been in the courthouse if they would have never told me. You get what I'm saying? And it's the pandemic, so there's no child care, there's nothing. And my son was screaming and making the Hispanic lady advocacy scared or upset. So I thought it'd be better for him because that's why he was screaming because he wanted to ride the elevator. To just quietly ride it, and I was, literally in the room right in front of the elevator and kept going back and check on him. And it became a problem, so much of them not even bringing my child back to me, but them taking my child and putting him in this room. And I found him, he was surrounded by like 4 or 5 cops. So that was, a sad situation in itself. And I'm just sitting here trying to file order of protection of a man who obviously is making my life very stressful and showing my child behaviors that he should not be doing towards me. My child should not be doing towards me, let alone this man doing it in front of my child to make my child think that this is okay. And then I go and file order of protection, and then that's even worse because this man is abusing me. I'm telling him no. He doesn't understand the word no, and this woman literally denies my order of protection. So what is she telling my child? That it is okay for this man to do these things to me, and if I say no, my no doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So if I'm telling my son no, then my no doesn't matter to him either because no doesn't mean no. It doesn't mean no if you continue to do the opposite of what it means, right? Um, and that's what I was getting um, in that. So I'm not really in a big rush to go back, but I have up until July 4th to reappeal it, to resubmit all the information. I have all the paperwork filed, ready to be, given to the court and everything. I think I'm supposed to be waiting for an email for them to see if they waived it, the process. But I think I have to go and submit the paperwork, and then I'll see if they waive the fee for me to have the hearing, to present it in the courthouse. And that's just where I'm at with this. But in the meantime, like I have a 3 week little break, I guess you can say, and then I'll pick back up my classes for the summer. Amazon did reach out to me about a job, and I thought about applying, but I'm like, if I apply, then they're gonna run my background check, right? So when you run your background check and it comes up that I have 4 misdemeanors pending, I've never been, seen as guilty, but they would even just have the stuff sitting on my record, and I thought you were innocent until proven guilty. And like I said, I've been asking for a trial since day one. I've been just redirected towards psychiatric evaluations, which the psychologist the second time after me asking the same questions saw me as being a fit and said that she would be able to testify upon my stipulations of why I'm fit at this time to stand my trial. So that's even the issue in itself because it's like I can go to college and have jobs and work and take care of myself and find jobs and find apartments and cars and all of these things that adults do, and take care of myself. Then how am I unfit to stand my trial when I was wrongfully being arrested, standing outside my apartment, literally the police released the video and literally took this picture I had been put on me. Never taking my side of the story. I'm the one who got the police first. And I was arrested and literally everything I said happened to me. They reversed it and said that it happened to the other people. And then these other people moved out, haven't seen them, none of that. And then, week after that, them claiming, supposedly I had a gun, which was a lie in itself. I get a phone call from a job who allows me to work and then also claims that I had a gun. So it's just really just horrible because I've never put myself in a position where I needed a gun. I've never had any enemies. I've never been on social media a lot. I actually just started any social media content just this past last year. You know what I'm saying? So just to be building up enemies or having enemies or no. I don't really know a lot of people in Chicago, Illinois, period. My mom, like I said, my grandmother had 13 brothers and sisters. Some of them moved up here. I have family supposedly in Harvey in another place, but they're long distance relatives, and I don't know anything about them. So other than me moving up here with my ex-husband, knowing him, his father, his mother, his best friend, CB, which has a great job at CPS down in Chicago, went to Mississippi State with us. His friend Cameron, who went to one of the universities of art, and it was one of those like music and theater Chicago big schools down in Chicago. But he went for music and theater, like literally his dad's a pastor, his mom was an elementary teacher, and they have like this like huge like DJ thing. I just remember that being in their house. They had traveled and went with us to Florida and we took his my ex husband's daughter to Disneyland in Florida 1 year. Other than those people, like, the people I work with, Valley School District, I've been working there for 4 years, so there's a lot of faces I'm familiar with. I'm familiar with a lot of the kids' faces and stuff. Literally lived over there since I moved up here in 2014 and kind of like no bone looks like the back of my hand because the first 2 years I didn't have a car. So I just walked around, biked around, jogged around to literally almost every park following the bookmobile, you know what that is, and all the art shows and Founding Library. Um, like they have all these little things for kids where you can like go to bilingual on Mondays, or you can go to music class, or your book class, or play dates on Saturdays, or movie time on Saturday evening. So I just used to like do a lot of that stuff because I was, quote unquote, stay at home mom. So like, I just started social media and literally all my Facebook friends are people that I literally went to high school with for 4 years. If not, their mothers or my teachers, my coaches more so, that I was, athlete under and stuff like that. And half of my coaches and stuff I'm not even friends with, like Coach Gates, and it was another coach, Gatlin, from middle school. I'm not friends with either of them. Coach Gates was my high school basketball coach, and Gatlin was my middle school basketball. But Coach K was my volleyball and track and field coach, and so we were like friends because he's just like that guy. Where like he was really just supportive of us, and like school wise, work wise, he really like kept us like track and field, like volleyball, like sports, like keep your grades up. Like he was like one of those people. He ended up like dating one of our point guards' mother or something like that. I don't remember. But I don't know if they're like still dating or whatever. But it's funny because she's grown up and she's like a nurse and she has her own kid and stuff like that. The point guard, her name is Renitra. So it was all of us playing on a team together. But and then like all of my college classmates, people I was on a track and field team with, or either on a football team because we were like really close because like we all lived in the same dorm, and then we all worked out in the same turf before the football field got their own facility. That was when we were just like leaving, we were about to graduate, and then we took over the old football facility, and now it's the big track and field facility for track and field, and we got like their own locker room and they like get it over and stuff like that. So I think like my record and all that for the Hammer is there, like my name is in there. But I've never experienced like being inside of that locker room, like experience like the big vibe of it or whatever, because it was like way bigger than what our track and field locker room was when we came in our freshman year. So those are like all of my friends on Facebook or whatever. So I, never really had social media. Only reason why I started making content on TikTok was because that day the police literally had to leave the video out of the phone. And so when I got out of jail, I'm literally on TikTok like pulling hair out of my head that had been ripped out of my head because I didn't get the proper medical attention by the ambulance who had came before they had took me to the jail. And so when he let me go, he literally told me to walk out the back. No, I walked right out the front and I called 911 because I've been telling for about 2 hours that my shoulder and my neck is hurting. You know what I'm saying? And you never acknowledge, she's like, oh, we'll go to the hospital when you come out there. So I can walk home and then go drive myself to the hospital. No, I'm going to come one because my neck and my shoulder is in pain. Okay. This girl literally taking my hair and have my head like this, like pulling all of my hair out. So left me with three bald spots. So I literally called 911 and went to the emergency room where I was very much frustrated because this was the same hospital that the girl was taken to. And so the police literally followed me outside the sergeant and talked to the head medical people, whatever, chief of, I don't know, chief of fire, chief of, what do you call ambulance people? I forgot their names. Um, Whatever, I can't think of it right now. But I don't know if he was their chief or whatever. But they had a conversation, and then I get to the hospital, and then I was mistreated and not getting, the proper attention. I feel like I wanted to MRI with contrast, and I was like totally denied. Telling I had to leave, blah blah blah. So I ended up calling one of my friends who like picked me up at the time. He was working here as a maintenance man, I guess, and we had started talking, and that was around December. And he like picked me up from there. And he was just really, nice about the situation, but literally it was just like the worst day ever. But I ended up like getting home and going to admit myself to a clinic that I was supposed to be my PCP, asked for in my ride, and then sent back home by the police after I was scheduled. I was literally scheduled to come back at 2 for my ride. I came in and that was like they didn't know what I was talking about. Police came up there with the same police that was on the scene that morning. Told me, "Oh, you're not in the team. I think I have a video of that." So like, you just need to go home. Go home. Like, are you serious? So my mom ended up telling me to just find a hospital outside of the county, and so that's what I did. I ended up going to Venice, and they ran, and I think I have a CD of when they told me I had a pinched nerve, and they gave me medicine, and then I went back, and I kept coming at my clinic about my MRI. Oh, you can have one, but you can't have any contrast, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and now, you're medicated saying that you should get physical therapy before and then get MRI. So we went through that whole issue with others. I ended up doing physical therapy for like 4 weeks and then realizing like this is something that I can just treat and condition by myself. And I already go to the gym and work out. You know, I did it for 4 weeks. And so then I went and just do my own, like I go to Planet Fitness and I work out and stuff like that. So over time, it has healed. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't have had a pinched nerve or shoulder damage if my hair would have been pulled literally out of my head. So that was a problem, or that is still a problem, because none of this stuff has been talked about. None of these videos have been brought up. But you can bring up a video of me sitting here behind in a police car with my hair over my head, with the hopes or the thought that I will plead or something, or you might think that I think I look guilty, but no, you have video of that, then you have video of everything. You have video of these police talking to me crazy and threatening me and running and attacking me because it's for police cars out here. And so, like, you're not going to release that? Okay, that's fine. Well, I'm not. I'm going to stand trial until it's given released, until it's talked about, until you get this shit off my name, get this shit off my name, so I can be able to apply for a job and work. It's just somewhere besides the fucking warehouse or the factory. Because there's no way a man is come to my house and talk to the police and tell my son, I hope you had a good life, CJ, you never want to see your mother again. What type of shit is that? What the fuck does that mean? Who has the right to decide whether I get to see my mother for the child again? And what type of authority do you have, or what type of moves can you make in order for that to happen? So that's what they said. The person in class who writes the most information down, asks the most questions, is the person who's the most inquisitive and the person who wants to learn more, right? And probably the person who does learn the most and the most smart about it. And I have a lot of fucking questions concerning the situation, like a whole lot of them. Like on my window right now, it says CPS and will which really set me up because I don't trust any of this shit. I am so fucking innocent. I've never put my child in danger. I've never harmed him, hurt him, anything. If anything, everything that was in this fucking house was for my son before anything in here was ever in here for me. Period. Because that's just who I am. Like, I'm gonna make sure he's okay before I make sure myself's okay. And I think my ex-husband knows that very well, very well. Which is why he wanted me to have his other five fucking kids. Literally. And this ain't no joke. So it's just like for you to sit there and try to, frame me and label me out to be somebody that I'm fucking not, try to make it seem like I have some type of mental or like I'm crazy. None of that. Not at all. I love to work out, play basketball, all types of sports. I love to learn. I work on my master's in education. I just want to stay below. Like, that's what I'm looking towards. Like I'm not going to be hop, skipping, and jumping. Like I didn't go to school for 5 years and keep my fucking record clean and all that shit. To be bound by, or dictate, what type of jobs or what type of income or what type of life I live. No. If that's the case, then I'd rather just survive. And because I've been on both sides of the system and I'm from the hood and I'm educated also and I've seen people with salaries and benefits and at the same time I've seen people use HUD and government assistance and unemployment. I know both ways. Very, very under understood of both ways and how both ways work. So I'll be damned. You know what I'm saying about getting into the system. Like I feel like one of the cops I was watching on the show and pretty much like how do you feel being a black cop at this time? And he was like, it's just more prevalent because we have videos and it's being blasted, and people are seeing it through social media content and stuff like that. Like this stuff has been going on for years and people have been able to hide it. So this ain't nothing new. It's just being more seen now. This is nothing new. It's just being seen now. Because now you're tuning for it. Now it ain't just your word talking. Now it ain't you getting up with a group of your coworkers and coming up with some lie and calling it justice. It ain't that anymore. Like people can really live see what the fuck is going on. And that's what he said. Like the police literally arrested him and told him that he was going to ruin his career before he ever became a police. He had to go through the system, get the shit off his name and all that before he ever applied as a police for 20, 25 years. I was watching BBNC. And that type of shit is like, you think I was, oh, begging to become a teacher? No, no. Actually, my ex-husband's mother told me she's been a teacher aide for Valley School District for since my ex was like 7 or 8. And she was just stay at home mom. And then she realized like, okay, I'm stay at home mom. And they're full time in school. So she became a teacher aide. And she was like, yeah, that's you guys can go and start just teaching. That's what she told us when we were living in her house. So I did and he didn't. And then he realized how much money he was making and then he started. Mm-hmm. And then when I did it for 2 years, I literally just fell in love with it. And when my platform, like, you should be certified, that's when I started working on my certification. So, like I said, I go after the doors that God opens. Not ones that I open for myself, none of that. Just like going to college. My coach, track and field coach, literally walked on my state championship of grounds track and field my senior year and literally at the last minute. She was a first, second year coach. They wouldn't let her recruit outside the country, which is what most experienced coaches do. They recruit in the bigger cities or outside of the country. And she had to start, from scratch. So they only allowed her to recruit in the area. And so she found me and saw the potential that I had, and I really showed up and showed the fuck out. And that's what I do because whatever I do, choose to do something, and I'm gonna give it 100. I'm gonna give it all of me until I'm not gonna go and give something all of me that's not gonna progress me anyway. Whether in peace, prosperity, or profit, then fuck it. But I do feel like my memory's been going against civil rights, whatever you wanna call it. wrongfully arrested and being taken from the ship at a so-called CPS. And it seems like a lot of people are being corrupt by Illinois CPS system. I found a Facebook literally for CPS. So like I said, I'm going to educate myself on this YouTube, TikTok, all of this. I'm not going to lie. Concerning the situation, as much as I feel, I need to talk about it. Like, oh, therapy, this is here I'm talking about. So that's what I'll be doing, having conversations. And if there's anybody who experience, knowledge, education, they've been through it before, like I went through one woman, she's about to start a Zoom live. And she's been coming, she's been going through this for a couple of years now, so she has a lot of experience on what CPS is doing and how they're using and put you in the system and the steps that you should take so you can get out of it. She's going to start going on Zoom very soon. So we're waiting for her. A lot of people are reaching out like, yeah, this is what we need. She ends up leaving. Let's see what her name is. Kiana Brown says, stop DCFS and PS corruption in Illinois group is one of the groups that I'm a part of on Facebook. Yeah, so a lot of people have reached out and pretty much told her that they are 100%, in agreement with her doing the Zoom and coming in and, just trying to find some solutions to what the fuck is going on. And I'm so grateful, like my son has me to go to. Because I feel like that's what they, what I'm like, you can narrow it down, that's more so what you need. Right? So you can be able to put this child in anybody home. This person can collect the check and you can, I ain't no telling. I was just watching SUV yesterday and they'll traffic women, right? And put them in these nice apartments and they ain't gotta pay no rent. It's just men coming through. And imagine what they'll do with a child who can't speak for themselves. And they said people take drinking blood and stuff to stay young and all types of bullshit these days. So ain't no telling how much a little child is worth in these fucked up ass markets that they call the black market, but only rich white people can afford. That's kind of fucked up. And everything that's bad is black, but the people who can't afford it. That's how, brainwashed our fucking world, you know, have us. Soon as someone look at me, they automatically assume I have 5 kids, 3 men take care of me, and I'm on every public agency out there. When I have a whole college degree, never intended on any public aid or any assistance. I always wanted my own job and be able to take care of myself. Because I never lived in a family where it was abused. It was used until you got to where you needed to be. My mama didn't raise us to teach us how to abuse the system. She worked. And the men that she had that actually helped her. My military daddy was one of them. So that's not what it is. Never been, never will be. But if that's what I need to do to get through my master's, then I'm gonna do what I need to do to get to where I want to be. And that's just called sacrifice. And that's what a relationship should have for one another. right? You should sacrifice what you need. You should do what you need to do to help that person get to where they want to be, and vice versa. But I feel like I was doing all the doing to help the other person, but it wasn't returning. But then you just have to make a step to do it for you fucking self, right? And some men can do that. That sense of pride. They want to be with you, make you feel insecure. So I'm glad I'm that person that can give two fucks about what another person thinks of me. So I'm going to end this live, like I said, just looking for advice, any experience, knowledge, being fully invested and being taken advantage of by CPS. But in the meantime, I'm working on my master's degree. I'm going to go file this appeal, and then I'll go back to court Friday for some of these um, issues at hand. So that's what it is. You know, I got my bachelor's. I did that biological science. Probably should have gotten education, but I didn't. They sure did. And so now I'm getting my master's. And obviously, with that science degree, it could allow me to teach science too, if I wanted to teach that at the middle school level, because I have a but this is elementary education. I might work my way up to middle school, high school, but middle school more so. We'll see. Little by little. But yeah, so if there's anybody out there with any advice, experience, knowledge of what the fuck is really going on, I would be real open to it. Um, I have a Facebook page and I do have TikTok. Have yet to do Instagram or Twitter. Haven't I tried to download it before. I think I did open Twitter and we've been following some people, but I haven't tweeted it. So, and then Instagram. Yeah. So but it's like not allowing me to download my phone. Like even now on Facebook, I'm trying to allow access to my pictures, which I just have a problem with. I turn my phone and turn it back on. I'm having these problems. It says open my settings, but I don't really do anything. So I guess I have to figure that out. So from home. But yeah, just reaching out again. I'll be back. Let me see. Today is Wednesday. So probably sometime this weekend, I'll probably do another YouTube live. Well, hope you guys have a great, wonderful day.